Members of the Scottish Parliament have held an emergency debate on the former SNP Chief Executive Peter Murrell, who yesterday pleaded guilty to embezzling £400,000 of party funds. The SNP First Minister John Swinney has denied trying to sweep the scandal under the carpet. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has intervened, saying there are questions that need to be answered about Mr Murrell, the estranged husband of the former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. James Cook has the story.
Peter Murrell once told me about life with Nicola Sturgeon at the height of her success.
So she still irons my shirts.
Domestic bliss? Not anymore. We now know that weeks earlier, Murrell had purchased a £300 Xbox with funds stolen from the party she was leading. And that wasn't the half of it. There was also a £4,225 Mont Blanc Starwalker fountain pen, a pair of Bremont watches totalling more than £9,000, a £3,000 robot lawnmower, 2 Dyson hairdryers for nearly £650, a £110 pencil sharpener, and a £3.50 bottle of superglue. Some who gave their time and money to the party are disgusted.
I'm not a member of the party anymore. I probably would think long and hard before ever joining any party. I think it's kind of taken that bit of trust that I had and rubbished it. I don't think any of the other parties align with me enough to financially support them, and I don't think that I feel confident putting my money behind the SNP and knowing where it's going at this point in time.
I now call Rachel Hamilton.
That's a problem for John Swinney, a gift for his opponents.
Given that it was the First Minister himself who appointed Peter Murrell, can the First Minister tell the public if he believes that his judgment was lacking?
First Minister.
This is an incredibly difficult and painful case, and the actions that have been addressed in court yesterday are the actions of one individual, Peter Murrell, and he has broken the law.
Murrell's estranged wife, Nicola Sturgeon, says she knew nothing about that criminal conduct and she was cleared of any involvement in it.
Right, okay.
The Prime Minister sounds glad it's someone else feeling the heat.
I think anybody looking at what's happening up in Scotland will be baffled that those at the top of the SNP didn't, or say they didn't know anything about what was going on. So clearly there are questions that need to be answered.
It's hardly unusual for a political party to close ranks against its opponents when the pressure is on. The SNP under Nicola Sturgeon certainly did that. But she is also accused of sidelining and silencing some who shared her dream of Scottish independence when they began asking difficult questions about the party finances while she was leader. James Cook, BBC News, Edinburgh.
Sir Tony Blair has said that Labour does not have a coherent plan and has warned that the party is playing with fire over the country's future. In an essay criticising the government's approach under Sir Keir Starmer, the former Prime Minister said that changing leader was irrelevant if there isn't first a debate about policy. Alex Forsyth is at Westminster for us. Alex, former Prime Ministers don't usually criticise their successors, so how's this going to go down?
Well, pretty badly in Downing Street, I suspect, Rita, because frankly, this is a damning assessment of where Labour finds itself. Tony Blair does praise some aspects of Keir Starmer's government, things like a focus on planning reform and infrastructure. He's critical of others, like increasing national insurance for employers, saying it's hampering business. But perhaps the most stinging criticism is this. He thinks the problem is not Keir Starmer's personality or ability to communicate, as some in the party have said. He says it's because there's no coherent, worked-out plan for the country. Now, he does warn against trying to force the Prime Minister out without a proper discussion about the policy direction Labour should take. And there's some pretty clear messaging for anyone who thinks they might be able to do a better job than Keir Starmer. He is warning against a shift to the left of the party. This intervention, of course, comes as Labour is wrestling with big questions about its future and about its leadership. Tony Blair is a man that led the party to 3 general election victories, but he is not universally popular within Labour. His legacy is highly contentious, and I suspect there are going to be some in the party that don't welcome this advice.
Alex, thank you. And Victoria Derbyshire will have more on that on Newsnight on BBC Two shortly. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Rita. Yes, we are going to discuss that biting criticism by Sir Tony Blair of the government for parking itself, he says, in the party's comfort zone on the soft left. And as Alex said, he says changing PM without working out a plan for government isn't serious. So what could this mean for Sir Keir Starmer and his policies? We will discuss with our guests, including former Minister Jess Phillips, who resigned recently, citing inaction in government. Join us live in a few minutes, 10:30, BBC Two, iPlayer, and around the world on BBC News. Victoria, thank you.